So I'm going to try this one more time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to DTS Mobile Learning. So today, this is Miss Desiree Thomas, and I'll be discussing DTS Mobile Learning. So I'll be discussing Unit 1, Assignment 1 on here. It will be a reference point for you if you have any additional information that you want to add, or if you want to ask any questions. That's what I mean. Sorry, if you need to ask any questions, come to me after you've watched the video and you have decided what areas and what way you're entering into. So I'm just going to briefly go through what you need to do for this assignment. So for this assignment, you need to complete 3 sections for this assignment. But on this video, I will be only going through P1 and P2. So as you know, because you've signed up already, sorry, the business unit is BTech Level 2 Tech Award in Enterprise. So I'll be going through the different areas of the assignment so that you'll have a reference point to go on. Yes? If you have any questions, as I said before, please refer back to this video, or if you still don't understand after you have done that, then you come to me. So 2 main things you need to know is, for this unit, you need to develop a knowledge and understanding of how businesses attract and retain customers. Also, you need to apply knowledge of understanding how your business attract and retain customers. As I said, for this assignment, this is assignment 1 for unit 1. I will repeat, assignment 1 for unit 1. These are all the criteria that you will need to complete here. But for this video, we will be looking at P1 and P2. For P1, you're going to compare the purposes, the activities, and the aims of 2 contrasting local enterprises. And for P2, you need to describe the entrepreneurial characteristics and skills demonstrated in each selected area of local enterprises. Okay, so for this whole assignment, you're going to need to do M1 and D1, but that I will do on a separate video. So for this assignment, you will now need to start. Yes, after you've read this, you will be starting the assignment. You will need to start in terms of investigating. Yes, you'll be investigating 4 businesses. Yeah. But for assignment 1, you need 2 businesses. I need you to write about 2 contrasting businesses. That's how you're going to compare it. But you're going to have a description of 4 businesses, but you need to write about 2 contrasting businesses. Okay? Contrasting means different. For those of you who does not know what contrasting means, it means different. So please don't write about 2 barbershops or 2 off license. You can write about an off license and you can write about a barbershop, because they're 2 different types of local businesses. So you will have 4 businesses to choose from. As I said, you're going to write the description of 4, but you'll need to contrast 2. Yes, so you're going to compare and contrast 2. Yes, so you need to choose 2. I will say again, only compare 2, describe 4. SME characteristics. Yes? What does SME means? If you don't know what SME means, I will let you know now. Yes, so SME means small and medium-sized enterprises. Yes, small and medium-sized enterprises. And you have three main types of these. You have your micro, you have your small, and you have your medium. For micro, you have up to 10 people. For small, you'll have between 11 and 49 staff members. For the medium, you'll have 50 to 249 staff. Yes? So when you investigate these businesses, you need to make note of whether or not they're micro, which is they have from 1 to up to 10 people in the business, or they're a small business, which means they have 11 to 49 staff members, or they are a medium-sized business, which means they have 50 to 249 staff members. Please be careful and know which of these your business falls under. They will be run by a single individual or a small team of people. So you can have your sole tradership, which we'll talk about later. And if they're a sole trader, they might run the business solely, and that means they're a micro business. Or they might have 2 or 3 people working for them. Yes? They might, or the business might be small or medium size, and they might have a small team of maybe 1, 2, 3 or more people who are managers of that company or runs that company. Okay? You have a small, so they have small, and they will have a small amount of employees. The type of ownership, yes, so you have 3 main ownership type that we will be referring here to. Most of the businesses you'll be looking at will fall under 2 categories: the sole trader or the partnership. So, sole trader. What is a sole trader? A sole trader means one person owns the business. So everything falls on the lap of that person. That one person will get all the profits, and also they will be liable for anything that the company incurs. Yes, anything that the company is liable for, it will fall on that one person's lap. Partnership, you have 2 or more people that in that company that runs that company. So they will have to share everything, decision making, profits, and all of that. So physical location. So physical location is very important. Please remember to add all of these in your assignment. Physical location means something you can touch. They'll have a building, a place that they will offer their services or products from. They'll have a main address, and that's where they will run their business from. They have a shop. So that means they have a physical location. Or it might be an online business like Boohoo. Yes, a number of online businesses. So you need to research whether or not your company is online or physical. I would prefer for you to concentrate on the physical. So for paragraph 1, obviously, you're going to need to have an introduction to the business. So for both businesses, yes, for both businesses, you'll need to have an introduction. Yes, introduction to the business. What is the business about briefly? Yes, where the business is, what they do. Yes, stuff like, I won't say stuff like that because I don't want you to write stuff like that in the assignment. So briefly, the location of the business, how many, if it's a small or micro business. And if you've met the manager, you might want to say something about the manager or what the business does. It's up to you. It's just an introduction. Yeah. Whether it has a physical location, you're going to say where they have this physical location. Do they have it in Croydon? Do they have it in Thornton Heath? Where do they have this physical location? So they must have a physical location, and you need to give the address of this. If they do not have a physical location, they have an online address. Yes? The type of ownership, as I said before, mainly it will be either a sole trader or a partnership. These, you will need to do an interview. So you need to come up with a set of interview questions, which we will do in class. You'll come up with a set of interview questions, and that will be placed in the appendix. So you're going to ask the owner a series of questions pertaining to the information that's on here that you need for the assignment. Yes? Is it a sole trader or a partnership or a company? As I said before, you need to find out what ownership type the company is. What are the pros and cons of this ownership type? Pros and cons of this ownership type. So for example, with sole trader, the benefits of being a sole trader is that you get all the profits. But the cons of it is that you are liable for everything that the company incurs. So you see pros and cons of one ownership. Partnership. One pro is that you'll have additional finance because it's not just one person financing this company. The negative is that if you have any decision making, the decision making process will take longer. Yes, the profits will have to be shared. So those are some drawbacks. The number of people it employs, is it one, is it two, is it three, is it four? How many people do they employ? You need to interview for these. So the on here, you see where it says interview. Please base your questions off the tabs of the bullet point that says interview in brackets at the end. How does the characteristics of the owner or the leaders, how does it lead to success? Yes, what type of characteristic does he display? Does he have excellent time management skills in terms of prioritizing each task? Does he have excellent planning characteristics? So what are some of the characteristics? Sorry, those are skills. Let me rephrase. Sorry, those are skills. Time management, those are skills. And also time management skills or time management skills in terms of how they prioritize everything. Characteristics is, are they a people person? Behavioral, those are the characteristics in terms of how they interact with different individuals. So I will give you a list of both of those in class so that, and we will go through them. Sorry, I don't want to mislead you. Characteristics are different from skills. And I will say that again, the characteristics are different from the skills that you need to talk about, okay? And again, you need to interview these persons and find out about these skills and characteristics that you will need to write about. And this is the same thing. So you have paragraph 1, you have all the information, and it is the same information. Yes, it's not going to be the same information. It's the same topic areas you are going to write on for paragraph 2. So you're going to do it twice, but for two different businesses. Twice, but for two different businesses. Yes? Paragraph 3. This is where you're going to compare. So after you've completed 1 and 2, where you're going to write about the different areas of the business that you have researched, now you're going to compare them. Yes? What are the similarities and the difference of the two business? Similarities and differences of the two business. Yes? So the two businesses are similar because these are just some of the wording that you'll need to use. Another aspect of the business that is similar is, so these are some of the wording. Please use comparison words when you are writing up this section of the assignment. Please use comparison words. Think about the following and how they are similar or different. So you see the list of words you have here? What you're going to do is that you're going to write them down and you're going to make sure you put them as subheadings so I know what you're talking about. Please use these as subheadings so I know what you're talking about. So you need to think about the different ownership type. As I said before, think about the different ownership type. Is it a sole tradership, sole trader ownership, or is it a sole trader or a partnership? And what you need to do is to compare. If they're both sole traders, if they're both sole traders, then it's a similarity. If one is a sole trader and one is a partnership, then that's a difference. Yes? Number of employees. Do they both have 5 employees? Which means that is a similarity. Do they both have 10 employees? That means it's a similarity. Does one of them have 5 employees and the other has 10 employees? Then that's a difference. And please use the jargons when you are explaining these. You also need to look at the size of the business or the scale of the business. The size or the scale of the business, as I said before previously, if you're not sure, go back to the previous slide. Are they a micro business, or they're a small business, or are they a medium business? And say why. So you might want to say they are a micro business because they have 5 people in the business that works for them. In comparison to, or similarly to, the other company who has 5 employees as well. Yeah, see what I did there? So that's how you want to write it up. The product or services they are selling. I am going to do another video on products or services. What I will also do, I'll just briefly go through it here. A product is something tangible. something you can touch. So something that the customer gets, that they can touch, that they can use. That's a product. A service is a action, is something that you pay for, that someone will do for you, but you don't receive anything in return for your money. Like, for example, an engineer will fix your car. You haven't received anything, but your car is fixed. So you pay for that service. Yes? Like, you go to the barbers. The barbers will cut your hair, and you pay for that service. So that's a service. Yes? Compared to the product is different, as in they will give you something. Like at the off license, you go, you buy a drink, that's a product. You buy a crisp, that's a product. Yes? Location, and finally the location. You will need to compare the location. Are they both located in Croydon? Are they both located in Thornton? Or that's a similarity because they're both located in the same local area. If one is located in Thornton and one is located in Croydon, that's a difference because they're both located in different local areas. Yes? Please ensure you state these. What is meant by aims and objectives? So the aim is the house. Yeah? So the house is the aim. So it's the main goal. Yeah? That the enterprise wants to achieve. It sets out what the business wants to do in the future. So it's a future goal. Yeah. So in the house, the future goal is you have different furnitures in the house. These are the objectives. So everything works towards the end goal. So all the furniture is in the house to ensure that the house is kept. Yes? So this is the main goal. A future goal. So a future goal of the business could be to increase overall profits in the future. And now the objectives will be specific. They need to be SMART objectives. Yeah. So now when they're specific, you're going to give a time period in terms of when you want to increase it. So at the end of the year, I want to improve profits by 10%. So I gave you a time scale and I gave you a specific target. So the target is how much I want to get, how much I want to increase profits by. Yes? So that's the goal. I will go through these and I will give you additional examples as well. Examples of aims and objectives for a business. There are 6 aims. There are 6 aims covered in the specification. Yes, and I will show you the textbooks that you need to get for it. To make a profit, to survive. Most small businesses, the first year is most crucial and the hardest part. So surviving the first year is very important. To expand. So future goal to expand. So you might want to expand in different areas in London or different areas in the wider community. You might want to expand on that. Maximize sales. How are you going to maximize sales? Could be increasing your sales and your profits. So how are you going to do this? Being environmentally friendly and ethical. So to be environmentally friendly and ethical, you need to be able to recycle. Some companies ensure that on the bag, on the carrier bag that they offer you, they'll say it's made from recycle material. Ethical is, are they using child labor? Some companies will ensure that they tell you that um, they're free from using that type of labor. 6, provide a voluntary or charitable service. Some companies allow it for employees, managers, or normal staff members to volunteer in a charitable organization, which means they're giving back to their company. Sorry, they're giving back to the community. For paragraph 4, for enterprise 1, continue by completing the following bullet points. The purpose of the enterprise, yeah, for example, the aims and the objectives. So under the purpose, you need to write the aims and the objectives as we stated before. The range of goods and services. What goods do they offer? Do they sell sweets? Do they sell different types of crisps? Do they sell clothes? Do they sell shoes? What do they offer? What range of goods or services? Do they do, for example, banking services, or do they sell, or do they have like a Western Union where they send money over abroad, overseas to other people? What services do they offer? What entrepreneurial skills has the business owner demonstrated? So these are the skills. As I said before, you have your communication with customers and suppliers. That's a skill. You have planning. So how do they prioritize each task? For example, in the morning, the manager will write down a list of everything that needs to be completed, and then he or she would allocate the task to the right person, like some managerial task. For example, banking, startup of day will go to the manager, unpacking will go the um, to the stock personnel, and then for running off the floor for selling to customers might go to the sales team. Yes, time management is very important. Yes, how each task is completed, and are they completed in a timely fashion? Yes, are they completed on time? So it does not run over time. And if it does run over time, it might only be a small period of time that it runs over. Yes. Problem solving. Problem solving is a skill that all managers or all leaders need to have, because you need to be able to sort out or to fix or to solve any issues that's occurring that will affect the normal day-to-day running of the business. For example, if say a a staff had a issue with pay, then the manager will be able to solve the problem in terms of see if all our hours were put through. If say a stock issue, like for example, something was stolen, then they would need to form an investigation. If there was an issue with two staff members having a quarrel, we need to sort that out. If there's an issue wherein the books can't be balanced because someone made a wrong judgment in terms of the change that they gave back to customers, then we need to find out where that money went missing so that the books can be closed and the system can be closed off at the end of the day. So for wider ethical responsibilities. What does the environment, give me a minute, what does the environment and honesty and fairness with employees and customers? There is a page in the textbook, is 14 to 15. Check that out, 14 to 15, and you'll have more details on the ethical responsibilities, which you need to write down on here. What did I give me a minute? So you need to, so paragraph 4, paragraph 5. So can you see the similarity? It's the same thing, but twice. Remember, we're doing it for both businesses. The same thing, but twice. Please don't forget that, the same thing, but twice. So if you do it once instead of twice, you will fail. And it's not the same thing. It's a different thing for each business. So for the barber shop, you write this up pertaining to the task and the employees in that barber shop and the run-ins. And then you do the same for the off license. Yeah. So please remember that so you won't fail. So you need to compare the following. You need to compare the aims and the objective of the two businesses, the ethical responsibility, the range of products and services, and if you haven't already, compare them. Yeah, so you can start comparing as soon as you start writing. Even though you're describing, you can be comparing as well. But if that is too difficult for you, then you just do one bit at a time, one task at a time. You do your description, then you do your comparison. And if that's easier for you, you do it so you don't leave anything out. However, whereas, so these are some words that you can use as an example. Please use these words when comparing. Please use these words when comparing. So these are some of the entrepreneurial skills that the manager or the leaders would have displayed in order to succeed. Communication skills, planning, time management, negotiation, problem solving, managing risk. Yes? So these are all the different areas, different skills that you will need to think about and to find out if he or she is actually or have displayed these skills. And remember, it's all in the interview. You need to have these questions answered in the interview. These are just some examples. I've placed them here so you can use them. How to compare, it just shows you how to compare. I won't read it out for you. So you remember, you state what one business is doing, and then you use in comparison to. So you'll use similarly to, yes, or different to. Yes, so these are some of the sentences. Please refer to them if you get stuck. The Learning Aim A checklist. So for section 1, yes, P1 and P2, the characteristics and the purpose, so a range of products or services they sell, the physical location, online or both, ownership and who runs it, number of employees, aims and objectives, entrepreneurial characteristics, ethical consideration. That's the P1 and P2. Section 2, in both enterprises, but we haven't gone through that yet. So this is just the different areas that we will be covering. These are just the different areas that we will be covering. Sorry, I just said that. So we're going to be doing M1, and then we're going to do M1 and D2. So entrepreneurs, reasons for starting up. So this will be for the next assignment. Mind of the entrepreneurs, skills of the entrepreneurs. And then for section 3, how each characteristics, size, ownership, location contributed to the success of the enterprise. How the mindset and skills have contributed to the success in achieving its aims. Judge and prioritize which characteristics business and entrepreneur have been the most important in contributing to its success. This is the end of this session. If you have any questions, please refer back to this. And if you still don't understand it, then you can come to me and I will give you additional information. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe to the channel so whenever I put up any information about class task, you won't miss it. Thank you so much.